Look, Breezeway is not a bad color. There, I said it. Welcome back to Color Code, where we crack the code on color selection. Today's color code is MQ3-21 by Behr Paint, and it was conveniently their 2022 Color of the Year selection. We got the code, now let's crack it. Also, can you crack that like button for me before we begin? You're the best. So I feel I was perhaps a bit tough on Behr Paint and their choice for color of the year called Breezeway. It really is not a bad color. In fact, there are many circumstances where I love using those light, airy blue-green colors, which Breezeway is. It also has a pretty excellent LRV of 66. And I say that because when you're hovering around that mid-60 mark with your light reflectance value, that usually means the color is visible in its saturation. You'll often find a lot of those popular wall colors that we talk about and all designers tend to talk about within that range because you'll be able to see the color rather than mistake it for an off-white or just a plain old blah gray. It has color to it. Breezeway sort of fits into that mold of cool greens that feel almost fresh and minty and spa-like, which is a good thing because we all like the spa, although I hate massages. Don't touch me! Cooler colors like this will naturally feel more soothing and relaxing. But I did mention in the Behr Paint Color of the Year announcement video we just did that I felt a bit underwhelmed with its selection. We can see it all over the internet, especially on Pinterest, with where design is heading in general, that people are starting to favor those warmer color tones, those warmer hues, and although Breezeway isn't exactly ice cold, there's not enough green within it to actually make it feel warm. So in that case, it's perfect for those people that are more contrarian with their design choices. Maybe you don't want warm yellow-based greens and beiges, then in that case you would likely lean towards a cooler color like a bluey green like Breezeway. We're all different, we're all unique, we have our own tastes. So just because everyone else is jumping on the warm green bandwagon, maybe you like things a bit cooler. Nothing wrong with that, right? So getting into the meat of color code is talking about some other colors that go alongside the main color in discussion here. I do this by offering you three options. We got a light color, a medium color, and a dark color. I'm also gonna give you a white trim color, as I know a lot of you will probably be painting your baseboards in off-white. Not all of you, but statistically a large portion of you. So let's start with the light color here, which comes in at a 79 LRV, meaning this color reflects 79% of the light that hits it. That's light reflectance value. And the color is called Dutch White. Do not let the name fool you though, because this is more of an off-white that has a comfortable coolness to it that really kind of glows when it's used on the walls. You could almost say that it feels like a very muted periwinkle purple gray that looks really great alongside Breezeway. One of the reasons I like it is because it will make Breezeway look a tad more green rather than blue, and that's a little more alongside my personal tastes, which are perhaps questionable because I am wearing a Sesame Street hoodie today for this video. Very professional. Comment below if you know where I bought this because I did post it on Instagram. Shout out. So in summation with Dutch White, do not equate it to a white paint color because it does have just a bit of that purple to increase its chroma. It's more saturated than you might think when you first look at it or hear its name. The middle color I want to speak to you about is one of the Behr Paint color trend selections. So alongside Breezeway being the color of the year, there was a bunch of other colors that were paired alongside it. And one of my favorite picks from that grouping is the rusty color Perfect Penny. This color could not be more different than Breezeway, as it has an 18 LRV and it heavily focuses on a red undertone with that kind of clay brown base. The two together are fairly complementary, so it will be a very dynamic, dramatic, eye-grabbing sort of pairing, no doubt about that, but I can definitely see the rusty clay type of colors being used more and more often. So we're seeing that shift from neutrals to earthy, saturated colors like this one. The dark color I want to go with is called Shadow Mountain, which is not much darker than Perfect Penny. I believe its LRV is 10, and what's nice about it is it's technically pretty balanced as a color, it sort of seems like it's a charcoal gray, although it does tend to feel a little more cool than its colorants and its actual components might suggest. And this goes back to a lot of colors just tend to look a little cooler in person when they're so very, very neutral. You have to factor in that most of our interior lighting, except for maybe some incandescent Edison bulbs, will tend to be cooler rather than warmer. And this has changed as our lights have changed. So now we're not using just traditional bulbs. We have fluorescent lighting in some cases, LED lighting. And while you definitely can tweak the settings on some of those lights and make them warmer rather than cool, more often than not, modern lighting will either be white or cooler. And also daylight or even shaded light can produce a bit of a cool blue color cast. So this is why I like Shadow Mountain as a color, because it directly plays into the blue and the green found in Breezeway. So the two will somewhat offset and soften each other's coloration just a tad, even though all you're doing is adding a deep earthy gray. So even though it is neutral technically, it will seem a bit cooler, and so is Breezeway. Cool and cool, they sort of mellow each other out. Good stuff. And finally, let's talk about the white color to go alongside Breezeway. And I went for another color trends color selected by Behr that was paired alongside Breezeway. And that's called Whisper White. It totally fits into this coastal feel that Breezeway actually does quite well. But in that, it also has an LRV of 90, making it one of the brighter whites that you can get in Behr paint. It also has just a touch of warmth in there to prevent it from feeling too frigid, which can become a problem if you're incorporating a lot of blues into your color scheme. So overall, it's not going to look like a beige white. It's clean, yet warm, and I think it's a perfect paired color in the off-white/white category. If you missed my initial reaction to Breezeway being announced, I'll go ahead and throw it up on the end screen for you because it was quite candid. Although keep in mind, I do enjoy this color overall, so no hate. Stay tuned.